So people do not have time to sort through perfectly nice lawyers who say they can handle almost anything. They reach out to the lawyer who is clearly the go-to for a specific problem for clients who are like them. So when your message is broad, only your closest contacts know where to place you. When your message is focused on a target audience, people know exactly when to think of you and exactly when to start a conversation. And that clarity is what builds momentum. I'm Lana Manganiello. I'm the founder of Practice Growth Partner, and I work with lawyers and law firms to build practices that feel purposeful, profitable, and enjoyable to run. My work centers on helping attorneys understand the clients and the matters that they want the most, and then creating visibility and relationship strategies that make those opportunities more consistent. Thank you again for being here. We're going to spend the next 30 minutes getting very clear on something that has the power to change your entire year, and that is your marketing focus for 2026. So many lawyers try to market a wide range of services to a wide range of clients, and it may feel safe, but it makes it harder for people to remember you, to refer you, or to call you for the work that you actually want. When your message is stretched out across too many areas, your efforts lose momentum. So today is about choosing a single direction that creates clarity and guardrails for your marketing activities. We are going to identify one kind of client and one kind of matter that would strengthen your practice, energize you, and open the door to better opportunities next year. And this is not about limiting your practice. It is about giving people a simple way to understand what you are known for so they can confidently send the right work your way. Once clients find you for something specific, they usually bring broader needs. So this is about opening the door to a relationship. My goal is to help you cut through the noise and make it easier to say no to the activities that don't move the needle. So we'll work through a simple framework, a few quick exercises, and practical prompts that you can use immediately. So make sure you have a pencil and paper nearby. And we'll keep it light because planning your marketing should make you feel energized, not overwhelmed. So let's get started. All right. Let's talk about why having a clear marketing focus matters so much, especially when you have limited time to work on your visibility, which pretty much every lawyer that I work with has to actually do the work. And so they have only so much time they can devote to business development and marketing. So when you try to highlight everything you do for everyone you serve, nothing really stands out. If you describe yourself as someone who handles employment matters, real estate disputes, corporate contracts, and general litigation, people have a hard time knowing where to place you. They probably respect the breadth of your skills, but they will not remember a specific reason to start a conversation. Referrers also can't store in their memory long lists. So they do not understand your full scope of services. They'll probably remember you for one thing. And if that one thing is too broad, you become one of the many. And when your one thing is very specific, you become the person they think of when that situation comes up. So broad visibility also spreads your time really thin. I know lots of people who are very busy doing business development and marketing. They attend to lots of events, post online, speak on panels, participate in lots of communities, but their message shifts every time. And so those efforts do not build on each other. And you feel like you're busy without really gaining any traction because your audience never gets a consistent picture of what you're known for. Okay, so a clear message makes you referable and memorable. For example, if Emily consistently talks about helping biotech companies navigate early stage commercial agreements and is involved in organizations and associations related to that work, and she writes often about topics related to that work in the publications and on the platforms that these clients and referral partners pay attention to, people start to say, you should call Emily. This is exactly what she does. The clarity does a lot of the legwork for you. So your marketing time also becomes more efficient, because instead of trying to create endless content or showing up everywhere, you start choosing the places where your specific audience is paying attention. And then your efforts become more targeted and the return on your time improves dramatically. So when you focus, you begin attracting work that you actually enjoy instead of chasing everything that lands in your inbox. If your preferred work is representing nonprofit organizations and internal investigations, talking about that consistently will draw in more of those matters because people can immediately understand who you help and how. And a clear focus also strengthens your reputation faster. When your matters build on each other, your expertise compounds. You start seeing patterns, solving similar problems, and speaking about the work with more depth. And over time, you naturally become the lawyer people associate with that subject, which is the foundation of becoming and staying top of mind. So again, this is a difficult thing for a lot of the attorneys that I work with, picking a focus. So remember that a marketing focus does not limit the work you can accept. This is not about turning away your current clients or narrowing your actual practice. This is about choosing a message that creates clarity and simplifies your marketing strategy. It gives people a simple reason to call you. If you say, I help early stage SaaS companies structure their first employment policies, or I represent founders in complex divorce matters involving equity, your audience knows exactly when to think of you. And you've selected that message because it is a door opener to the exact kinds of clients and the exact kind of work that you want. And I think one of the most important things to keep in mind is you should be choosing a focus that excites you and aligns with your strengths. Focus is much easier to maintain when it actually energizes you. So if you pick the client and matter combination that feels meaningful and enjoyable, it's much more likely you'll stay consistent, and that consistency is what is going to build momentum in 2026. So let's start with an exercise before we start looking at choosing a focus for 2026. I want you to grab a quick snapshot of where you are right now in your practice. And this will help you see where you want improvement and where a clearer direction can make an immediate difference. So grab that piece of paper and draw 3 horizontal lines, one towards the top, one in the middle, and one at the bottom. And above the top line, you're going to write engaging clients. And here we're going to rate yourself from 1 to 10 on how you feel about the clients you are working with currently. So all of your clients kind of collectively, this is the average of how you're feeling about them. So a 10 is, someone who's jumping out of, or someone who every time the phone rings, they're excited to answer it because you love every single one of your clients and you're anxious to serve them. So that's a 10. A 1 is when your phone is always on silent and you always have a little bit of dread when you see it light up because a majority of your client relationships suck the life out of you. So don't spend a ton of time thinking about this, but just kind of the overall feeling that you have currently about your existing clients and how you feel about them. So the next line is going to be engaging matters. So we're going to rate yourself again from 1 to 10, this time on how much you enjoy the actual work that you are doing every day. So a 10 is, it's the Monday after Thanksgiving, you were excited to get to your desk because you have a lot of matters and projects that are interesting and you can't wait to get to work. A 1 is everything is feeling really heavy and you have to push yourself through the day. So again, don't spend too much time thinking about this, but just kind of your gut feeling of how excited are you about the actual work that you're handling currently. And the third piece we're going to look at is compensation. So again, rating yourself from 1 to 10 on how supported you feel financially by your practice, where a 10 means your pricing and your compensation reflect your value and your clients pay you reliably, and the financial piece is easy. 1 means that you feel underpaid for the time and responsibility required for the work that you're currently doing. Okay, so hopefully you have 3 scores for your clients, matters, and comp. Very few lawyers give themselves 10 in all 3 areas. Most people have at least 1 line where they can see there is room for improvement, and that's normal. And these scores are not a judgment. They're simply showing you where your practice feels aligned and where it needs more attention next year. And this matters because not all work is equal. I talk to a lot of people about business development who are telling me they're too busy, they can't do business development, but the reality is the things that they're working on aren't elevating their practice, and not all work is created equal. So some clients energize you, others can drain you. Some matters showcase your skills and they strengthen your reputation, and others just keep you busy. Some of your clients pay promptly and they generate repeat work and they create opportunities for you. Other clients require lots of management and constant chasing. So the work and clients you say yes to directly shape the direction and the profitability of your practice. And this quick scorecard just helps you to see the truth of where you are starting. So the focus you choose today supports the parts of your practice that deserve more attention. Okay, so now that you have a snapshot of where your practice stands today, let's look a little more closely at the work and clients that actually elevate your practice. And this is how you begin choosing the focus that will create the most clarity and momentum in 2026 and give you a real structure for your business development and marketing activities. So starting with clients, thinking about well, first of all, high revenue doesn't always mean high profit, as we discussed. So asking yourself about your clients, do they respect my time? Do they pay on time? Do they generate referrals? Do I enjoy the day-to-day engagement with them? And do I connect with them on kind of a human level? A large client who's draining your energy and pushing back on fees or takes 3 times the hours to manage actually lowers your profitability. And this is why clarity on who you want more of matters. And then when you're thinking about the actual work that you're doing, some matters bring more than fees. They elevate your visibility, they strengthen your authority in a specific area, and then they can also position you for future high value engagements or leading to continuous work. So asking yourself, does this matter actually showcase my expertise? And does it open doors to new profitable opportunities? Because the most valuable matters are the ones that both pay well and compound into more of the same caliber work. And when you're thinking about your practice, you should be thinking about it as a portfolio. So what percentage of your time is currently spent on high profit, high value clients and matters, your A+ clients, your A+ matters. So how much of your day is spent on those types of things? So elevating your practice means shifting towards attracting only the clients and matters that check all 3 boxes. So profitable, they're energizing, and they're strategically valuable, so that over time your practice begins to fill up with only this A+ work, and you can start referring out the matters that don't align with what you're looking for and what you enjoy. Okay, another quick exercise. So I'd love for you to think back on the clients and matters you've handled over the years. So thinking about your favorite clients, your favorite matters, identifying a handful of clients or matters that you genuinely enjoyed. The work that felt meaningful, energizing, or aligned with the kind of lawyer that you want to be. So write down the first things that come to mind. Obviously, we have a 30-minute workshop, so we can't give enough time to this that I think it deserves, but I think this is a really worthwhile exercise of kind of auditing all your past matters to see what stands out as the most rewarding. So thinking about what you liked about the substance of the work once you've identified this short list, what you liked about the people that you were working with, whether that was at the client or internal teams, and then whether the matter created or could create more opportunities like it. And this is one of the easiest ways to identify an ideal direction. I think a lot of times attorneys have trouble figuring out a focus, and so basing it on the things that you've enjoyed most over the course of your career is an easy way to move forward. Because when a matter energizes you and positions you well, it's almost always pointing you towards a focus that's worth considering. Okay, and then using the most compelling part of the example that hopefully came to mind, you can start to shape a possible focus and asking yourself, as you're framing your focus, if I could choose only one kind of matter from one kind of client next year that would put me in an excellent position, what would it be? So which clients appreciate how you work? Which matters showcase your strongest skills? Which combination would raise your profile and feel sustainable? And obviously this pairing doesn't have to be perfect today. It simply needs to be interesting enough and exciting enough to guide the rest of your marketing strategy and your visibility plan. And you're looking for a direction that feels like, yes, more of this would be really great. And when you choose something that excites you, it becomes easier for you to stay consistent, and consistency is what is going to actually build your reputation. Okay, so now that you have a sense of the client and matter you want to attract, the next step is to identify the people who can actually connect you with this work. And this is where your focus becomes actionable, it becomes real, and you cannot attract the right opportunities if you are not visible to the people who influence or make those decisions. So for almost every type of legal work, there is more than one path into a client. Your ideal work might come from internal decision makers, maybe outside advisors or people in your network who already serve that audience. So for example, if your focus is early stage tech companies and their employment policies, your connections might come through founders, may come through HR leaders or fractional HR leaders, accountants, or other lawyers who don't handle employment work, but work with tech clients. So if your focus is nonprofit internal investigations, you might be brought in by the executives, by board members, auditors, or other outside counsel who do not want to the conflict of handling it themselves. So I think that's an important step that sometimes people skip over, is really getting clear on who are the categories of people that need to know who I am so that I can get referred or hired for this kind of work. So next you want to start thinking about where these people are already paying attention. And obviously each one of those categories may be paying attention in different places. So they're attending specific kinds of conferences or events, they follow particular conversations, they read certain sources or platforms, and they're active in defined communities. And your job is not to be everywhere. Your job is to show up in the places where your target audience already is, with a message that clearly speaks to the problem you help them solve. So this is what makes your visibility effort efficient instead of exhausting. So I want you to look back at the matter or client you identified earlier and ask yourself, who connected me with that opportunity? And who could connect me with more opportunities like that? So think about 3 categories of people who would need to know who you are in order for you to be hired or referred for the work that we've identified through these exercises as your chosen focus. So again, these could be trusted advisors, accountants, consultants, brokers, other attorneys. What are the categories inside of organizations, their specific roles or titles, if it's the CFO or CLO or founders. And then thinking about the networks or communities where this audience is already active. So once you have your 3 categories, write down the places that are coming to mind where these people are paying attention. So let me see if I have a slide for this. Okay. So that's professional associations, trade or industry organizations, conferences or events, publications or newsletters, podcasts or webinars, online communities or membership groups. And this step really helps you to understand where you need to show up so your message reaches the right people. And it's important to note that because there are multiple routes into a client, you're going to want to choose the categories of people you naturally connect with. Because at the end of the day, business development is about genuine relationships. So if you're very data focused and driven, you may feel more effective with accountants and auditors and financial professionals versus maybe if you're more entrepreneurial and you connect more naturally with founders and business advisors or in startup communities. The categories and platforms you choose should feel interesting to you. And if they do, then you're on the right track. Okay, so moving along, now that you have identified the categories of people who can connect you with the work you want and the platforms, organizations, publications, and events that they actually are paying attention to, the next step is to, well, before we move on to that, I want to say one quick thing. When you're trying to pick the platforms where you want to pay more attention so that you can get more visible, one exercise you can do is to look at the current clients that meet this category of ideal and see where they are writing or speaking or where they're members, what conferences they're going to, as you're starting to build a list of the types of organizations and places that you want to spend more time. So next we can talk about how you're actually going to show up in those places and build credibility and visibility that's going to reinforce your focus. So your target audience cares about very specific things. They care about whether you understand their world, whether you see the patterns and risks that they face, and whether you can help them navigate those issues effectively. And visibility that reinforces your understanding of their space is what is going to make you memorable. So think about the decision makers and advisors you want to reach. So what do they care about? Your visibility should help them see you as a lawyer who brings clarity, experience, and perspective to their specific problems. So here are some examples of how you can strengthen credibility in the spaces your audience already cares about. So joining organizations and paying the membership fee is the bare minimum. And if that's all you're planning on doing, you probably shouldn't even do that. If you want to start to be visible in organizations, you're going to need to look for opportunities to serve in committees or leadership roles, and pick organizations that are highly regarded to your within your target audience, so that it adds trust. So the leadership roles really signal that you are actively engaged and invested in the issues that matter to your clients. Plus, it gives you opportunities for visibility and to build relationships. Thought leadership is one of the fastest routes to building a reputation as an authority in a specific area. And it works best when it's focused and when it's consistent. So choose a narrow topic tied to your ideal matter and create material that can be repurposed and shared in different channels to different audiences. And this helps you target contacts, as well as allows for your network and the marketplace to understand your depth and see consistency to get clear on what your focus is. Also, it's a great way to give your network something to share about you. If your target audience is active in particular associations, reads specific publications, or attends certain conferences, being visible in those spaces reinforces your positioning. And again, we don't want you to be busier. We want you to show up consistently in the places that match your focus. And a big part of this exercise is to give you the ability to say no to a lot of the things you may be doing currently that aren't moving the needle, aren't moving you closer to your goals. And so that's what's nice about having the focus, is saying, okay, maybe Provisors doesn't work for me given my target area and target focus, or maybe I need to double down on Provisors because it turns out that's the best place for me to start to get opportunities with this specific target area. So again, articles, short LinkedIn posts, short videos, roundtable conversations, they all help your target audience understand how you think. Pretty much all these platforms are looking for content, especially from experts. So it's not really self-promotion if you're educating your marketplace and showing them that you are an expert and that you understand the challenges and can be a resource to help them navigate them. Okay, so last quick exercise. Based on the places your audience pays attention and the type of credibility that matters in your focus area, I want you to write down 2 to 3 visibility goals for 2026. These should be SMART goals, they should be measurable, they should be simple and realistic. So examples would be secure one leadership role in a specific organization where your audience is active, speak twice this year on a focused topic that reinforces your expertise, publish content on a narrow subject 6 times over the course of the next 12 months, participate regularly in a community or membership group that your audience trusts. So choose goals that feel meaningful, aligned with your strengths, and sustainable over time, because the strongest visibility plan is the one that you're actually going to follow through on. Okay, so as we wrap up, I want you to remember one thing. Clarity compounds. So when you choose one type of client, one type of matter to build around, every action you take starts moving in the same direction. So you become easier to remember, easier to refer, and easier to start a conversation with. And that is how momentum is created. So nothing we talked about today requires any kind of massive change. It only requires some intention. A clearer message, a more focused audience, visibility that matches your strengths, and a few relationships nurtured with purpose. So small steps that can be taken consistently, they have a way of reshaping your entire year. So I want to make sure that you're writing down at least one thing you want to carry forward from today, whether that is a focus or a visibility goal. One small decision is enough to set your direction for 2026. And if you want structure and support while you put this into practice, I'm hosting a 30-day Leap Forward challenge in December, and that's designed to help you stay focused, follow through on the ideas outlined today, and build clarity through short daily prompts and weekly guidance. And you're welcome to join if having a structure and some accountability would be helpful to you. And you can email me to learn more, or please email me if you're interested in the slides for today. So thank you again, all of you, for spending this time with me today. I hope you leave with a stronger sense of direction and the confidence that you can absolutely shape the kind of practice you want to build for yourself next year. Thank you again.